Hello there, this is Sue at Miller's Laboratory. Thank you for joining me today. I am working on Roxy's Weekly Challenge 2025, Week 3. I know I'm a little bit behind, but I want to get this one done today and work on the next one too. So this one was extra journal space where she used old book pages, turned them into like little folders, and added papers inside to journal. One of them had a flip in it, one of them had a pocket. Just really useful little item to do. And so I've chosen two different sets of papers here to try. This one's from an old German book, and these two pieces are separated. And then I also have this one, which came from a Norwegian book. And this one is still attached in the center, so it just needs to be reinforced. And this one, I don't want to cover all of this stuff up because I think it's pretty cool with all the little pictures and everything. So this one I'm going to use a little bit different papers on. So I'm going to set that one aside for now, and we'll work on this one first. And what Rachel did is she put her two pages together. Oops. Reinforcing the inside with paper and then the outside with fabric. And so I have already pulled some paper that I want to use and fabric for this. And what's nice about this when you have the two separate papers is because you're going to be adding something in the middle, you can spread them apart and make them wider if you want to. So I think I don't want to go a lot wider, but I am going to give myself a little space just so I can have a little bit bigger spread here. And I'm just using the bottom of I'm lining the bottom of the page up with the line on my mat because this is a little deceptive, and in these old books sometimes the text isn't exactly square on the page. So for the inside, I found this scrap of paper in my scraps. I think this is something I printed from the New York Public Library. It's like monograms, and I'm just going to tear this off here. Let's use the ruler to do that. And it can be as wide or narrow as you would like. I don't need it to be too wide. And then we're just going to apply some glue to this and glue it down over this. Now I'm not really worried about getting a little bit of glue on my mat, so I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on this whole thing, and then I will just press it down. So get my glue paper here, my glue book. I'm just going to use my glue stick for this part. My glue stick is a little old and kind of dry, but I think it will be fine. Get it on there, a really nice good coat of it. Okay. Hope everybody's doing okay today. Having a good weekend if you're watching this on the weekend. Up to the top. I think that's good. I'm just going to smooth that down. Okay. And I'm going to flip it over, and we're going to put our fabric here. I'm just going to cut that off a little bit where it's coming down past the page. It'll be easier to do now than after I put the fabric on. And I don't really mind if the fabric hangs over a little bit. Just make sure that's down good. That is down very good. Okay, all right. This is a little strip of fabric that I tore from an old apron. Old aprons are, sometimes you can find them pretty inexpensively, and there's pretty, you know, they're from like the 60s or 50s maybe even, or they could even be older than that. So they have some real charm to them, and I love that fabric. So sometimes you can buy lots of them like on eBay, and they're pretty inexpensive. So that's one place where I get some of my vintage fabrics. Like the polka dots here. They're not the same as polka dots that they do now. I don't know exactly what it is, the spacing or whatever. They just have a different sort of old-fashioned look to them. to them. Okay, kind of making sure I'm pretty much in the center here before I press it down too much. Yeah, that's good enough. All right. Of course, I've got my fingers a bit gluey, but that's okay. All right. So that's simple, right? There you go. And now this is really reinforced. I'm going to just give that one a minute to dry before I fold it. And we'll go ahead and do the other one too. So this one, yeah, this is super fun. I love this. What I'm going to put in the middle is I have this paper that's kind of like vellum. It's textured though, and it was in a kit that I got for Christmas. It's probably from, you know, who knows where, Temu or whatever. I'm not sure. I got it as a gift. And it's cool, and it's sheer, and so I'm going to try to use more sheer things on this particular one because, as I said, I really like the graphics and everything that are on there, and I don't really want to cover those all up. So I'm just going to glue this down here, and you'll notice it's not quite as long. It doesn't go all the way to the edge. I don't think that's going to be a problem because it's going to be reinforced with the fabric as well. Kind of center it there. Okay. Could use washi tape there too. That would have been a good choice. Okay. And then isn't this pretty? Love the colors and everything on this. Let's get something here to apply the glue. Glue stick works pretty well, and it doesn't seep through the fabric, which is bonus here. Otherwise, you can just use Fabri-Tac or, you know, like PVA, and it just, you know, white glue works just fine. Go this way just a little bit. That good. Okay. All right. So we've got that one done as well. Set that one aside and grab the first one. We'll just kind of tag team it here. Let things dry in between. All right. Now I'm going to just kind of bend this. It's still not dry all the way, but we're going to go for it. The fabric part will take longer to dry than the paper. Okay. So that's how that's going to open. I love it. All right, so we need to address the inside. If we want to make that a writable surface, then we need to add some papers in here that can be written on. So let me grab those. All right, I seem to be in a blue mood today. I found this, I think this is scrap paper that I tea dyed, and I think that would be good on here. And I'm gonna just line it up here. Let's do this. Let's use our grid because that is such an awesome tool, and use it to tear things to the right size. So we want to go right to the edge of this black here. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect. Length. Okay, so we've got that one. It's got a wrinkle in it, but I like that. And then this is a paper that I found that I think came from the Graphics Fairy, and it's really pretty with the clouds, so I'm going to put that in there. good. Put that aside. Might use that later for something else. Okay, and then let's go ahead and get these glued down. A lot of backing and forthing here. Good. Same here. All right, and then I'm pretty sure just having this on there is really going to make this feel sturdy. So I don't think I need to cover the whole outside with paper as well. I just don't think it's necessary. I'm going to slide that over a little bit. It feels hefty enough to me, and I don't want it to become so thick that it doesn't fit nicely in a book. So we'll leave that one like that. Okay. And very nice. Make sure that's all smoothed down. We'll set that one aside and dry for a second. Go back to this guy here. All right. Now for this guy, again, I guess I don't mind so much over here. It's just mostly words. But I love that little picture. I don't know even what that thing is, but it's kind of cool. So I think I'm going to grab like some typing paper or vellum, something that's a little bit more sheer. Be right back. Okay, I'm going to just use some very plain vellum on the inside of this one. But I thought maybe I would decorate it a little bit before I put the vellum on. So I just have this little bird stamp I'm going to put up in the corner just to be different, just for something fun. There we go. All right. I can't really move it down a little bit here. Can't see where I'm at. We'll try it right there. And I'm pushing down really hard because, yeah, it looks cute. I like that. Okay. Just to add a little something on there. All right. So I thought what I would do with this vellum, since it's such a long piece, is I'm going to glue it on and glue it right down over the top. And then I can make this a fold in, and it can actually be a pocket that folds in. So we're going to go ahead and just tear it to the right length. And then we'll work from there and see how big we want that pocket to be. So I'm just lining it up, the ruler up with the edge of the paper here. So I'm getting it the right size, close to the right size. I'm going to tear that off. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to just be a little bit careful here because I don't want that to run. So I'm going to put the glue on the vellum for this half. So what I'm doing is just taking my fingernail and making a mark where the edge of that page is, because I really don't want to put glue past that point. So I can see that line. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but there's a faint line there I can see, and I know that that's where my glue needs to go. Come here, little glue book. Okay. And I know glue stick and vellum doesn't always get along, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be just fine here. See how it's curling up? It just makes it a little difficult to work with, but we can handle it. We have got this. Up a little bit. Pretty good. Looking pretty good up there. And we'll smooth this down really well. I'm just going to turn it over and give it a good smoothing on this side. And where's your bone folder when you need it? Here we go. Good. All right. So that's nice and reinforced that page, but it's not really covering it up, so I can still see it. Okay, now we're going to fold this in. so it matches the edge. Can be hanging over a little bit, it won't hurt anything. Okay, and then I'm going to make that into a pocket, so we're just going to fold it in again like this and give it another crease. All right, perfect. Now the pocket's not going to be the depth of the whole thing here, so we're going to kind of take the top half of this off. So let's use the ruler again, because I think that would work well. Oops. And I'm just going to tear down about halfway here. About there. That's a pretty good sized pocket. And then we'll turn this sideways and we'll tear that off. Up there. That's pretty good. To be pretty square. Okay. There we go. All right. Now all we need to do here now is just glue along the edges of the pocket and glue it down. For that I'm going to use Fabri-Tac because it's strong, but it's not really wet. It's not going to make the edges of that pocket all wrinkled. So I need to come in here, along there, along here, hold that closed, and just give it a good press. So you can see it a little bit. You know, it looks a little darker where that glue is, but that's okay. Okay, so that's going to go like that. That will be, if I can do it. I haven't folded this one yet since I glued it, so let's try folding it. Good. Okay. And then we just need to put something on this side. And I have some tissue paper here that I thought I would do. I thought that might be fun. It's gold striped, so I think that when I glue it down, the white part will pretty much disappear, and you'll just see the gold stripes on there. And I would like them to go up and down, so I'm gonna change the orientation of this paper a little bit. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna put the glue on this, and I'm gonna have to address this a little bit here. That vellum in the middle doesn't want to stay down, so I'm going to put a little bit of my Fabri-Tac in there as well, just to make sure we're not going to have it curling up and causing trouble. Once that's set, that'll be really good. Okay, all right, now we're going to put the glue stick all over this page. So let me just set that aside here again, and I'm going to tear my tissue paper along one of those stripes so that it's got an edge that's along the stripe. Does that make sense? Because we want the orientation to go this way. Then I have an edge to use against the middle here. And then I can cut the rest off after it's glued. Okay. Great. And just kind of lift and pull here. Lift and pull where it's wrinkly. And just kind of start smoothing that out. Awesome. Look how cute that looks. I like it. There are some wrinkles in here. You get that with tissue paper, but that's okay. We're going to smooth it out as much as we can. And I think, like I said, that will strengthen that page enough that I don't necessarily have to put a paper over the whole other side, because I don't really want to cover that up. So I grab my scissors here and we'll just cut around that. I have a little bit of an issue here where my fabric is. Let's peel that up a little bit. And I could also, and I may, let's see what happens when I get to here. I may just wrap it around the edge a little bit because that would make it a little stronger, wouldn't it? So let's just go ahead and tear that. Let's use this one for a little bit more jaggedy edge. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut up along the top here. Okay. So yeah, so I was thinking I would just wrap this around and glue it here. I think that looks cool. All right, so we'll just put a little glue on that. Yeah, this glue stick is really thick. It's thick. And just embrace the little bit of wrinkles that you get in it because it's cool. Okay, just going to cut that off to the edge. All right, and there we have that one. Isn't that cool? So this will fold that. And I'll just put a flower or a bird or something on the front. And we'll open it up and we'll have all this space here and a little pocket that flips to the side. I like it. It's fun. Okay. Let me assemble some materials to continue working and I'll be right back. All right, we're just going to continue on with this one because it was already on my desk here. And I found a few things that I want to use for this. So I want to put a tag in here and I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I have these pretty tags that are from one of Rachel's kits. I will link below, or I will write the name of the kit below because I don't know offhand which one it is right now. But they're so pretty collages already done for you. You couldn't do any better than that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just glue this onto just some plain brown paper, and then I will add a lighter piece on there that will be a little bit nicer to write on. So okay, curly, but it will straighten out. And then I'm just going to take this piece from an old ledger. It's just blank, but I'm going to glue that on the back too. That'll just be nice for writing on, I think. Now, I had some pretty eyelet that was on the apron that I thought maybe I would use on the top of the tag, but I'm afraid it's going to be too bulky. And I don't want anything too bulky in there because I'm afraid it will stress the paper, so we won't do that. We'll just put a little paper tab on the top. And this is just going to slide in the pocket here. We probably should put a little thumb notch there just to make that a little easier, but isn't that pretty? I don't think a thumb notch really is necessary there. And then I'll probably just put a little something on here, a label or something. I like that. Then this opens up and I'm going to leave it like that. I may staple a little bit of paper inside there though to write on. Now over here, I just found this pretty bird and I'm going to glue this right on here and it's going to lap over onto the other page. Have him, I like him down low here. I think it's a him. We'll call it a him. And we'll just allow that to dry a little bit before we fold it again. Okay. All right, on the front I'm just going to do a little bit of collage. We already have the little gold wrapping over and I thought I'd use a little bit of this same paper that I used on the other book in the middle, and then just add this little label. I like that. So we'll get that put on. All right, I'm going to just go ahead and trim the bottom off there so we have a better idea of what it's going to look like. Let's see here. Have a little bit of this cute, oh, look how gooey my fingers are there. A little bit of this cute polka dot washi tape, and I think I'm just going to add that on here and wrap it around. Just, that's all I'm going to do on that pocket. Keep it simple. But this is not very great quality washi tape, so we're going to put some glue on it. I like that. All right, and then let's just find a little tab to put at the top here. See if I have something already in my little tab box. There's a lot of fabric in here right now. I need to start using that up. There's some little labels that I stamped, and I think this will work because I can fold it over. I'm just going to tear this off. If I fold this here, then one side will have the number 8 on it, and one side will just have the plain tab, which works great. So cut that off. Again, a little bit of glue. Sorry, I'm going to have to go wash my hands here and come back because I am just kind of a gluey mess here. There we go. That looks really cute. Okay, good. I like that. All right. Hope I haven't stuck it in there too soon. No, we're okay. All right. All right. Let me grab some papers to attach to the inside. That'll just take me a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I have a few papers here. This is from an old book. It's got some old handwriting in it from 1899. Just a piece of graph paper here, which is fun and blue. And then this is a scrap of paper that I think came from Ruby and Pearl XO. And the rose is nice because there's a rose on this tag, so I thought that would tie that together. I'm going to put it this way, I think, and then we're going to layer the graph paper on the top and then the book page. Okay, and this is going to go right on the inside here. So Rachel used a little brad to attach those, and I thought that was a good idea because then you can take the paper out or you could add more paper in, whatever you wanted to do. It makes it more flexible. And I think before I punch a hole and do that, I want to make this just a little bit stronger on the back. So I'm going to add a label here just to add a little bit of thickness to this. All right, now we'll just flip this back over, realign it, and then I'll punch the hole in there. Make sure that's even. Okay, good. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. All right, little hole punch here. Okay, and then I thought this was clever. She put the brad in from the back, which I wouldn't have thought of doing, but I liked it, so we're going to do the same. Oh, here we go. We're poking it through, coming back over here, and then we'll just flatten that down. All right, and then that one is done. It's going to have to dry. This fabric is still not dry all the way, but it will fold a little bit better once it's dry. But so this is the front, and we open it up and see the little bird here. We have the pocket with the tag inside, and then when we do this, we've got some papers here that we can use, and we still have maintained the inside of this. We haven't lost that. So that was project number 1. Let's grab the other one now. Okay, I'm back. For the sake of expediency, I kind of got all my stuff together here so this doesn't become too long of a video. I did go ahead and put a label on the front of this because I forgot I wasn't filming. On this folder, I'm going to be putting the pages on this side. So again, I just wanted to add a little extra reinforcement here where the brad is going to go. So I just put that label there. I'm going to add this pretty swallow on the front and just wrap him around over the fabric there. So I'm going to put Fabri-Tac on him because he's going to get glued to fabric. And I think that will just hold him a little bit better than a glue stick would. What I'm going to do is open this up and glue it flat. And I do want that wing to kind of go up over that label a little bit. So we'll kind of have him swooping like that. All right. And we're just going to work with all of this flat for now. Okay. So on our inside, this is where I'm going to put my little pages. And I've got a couple, 3 here, just like I did in the other one. This is actually the other half of the book page I used in the first one. And then this is a pretty wallpaper image that I printed out, and this is from an old 1986 calendar. And I love the little, I don't know what you call that, where the spiral binding was. I love the little holes and the little jaggedy. They're like chads, but they're not. So we'll line these all up even. And then it's going to go right in here like this, centered. And I'm just doing the same thing. I'm going to punch the hole, and then I'll put the brad through from the front. Where's my hole punch? Here it is. That looks pretty close to the middle to me. All right. It's a pretty small hole punch. It's like a 16th inch one. Probably an 1/8 inch one would have been a little easier with this large brad, but it is what it is. Okay, get those separated. I need to zoom in maybe just a hair. Okay. All right, so there's our little papers. Very pretty. I like that. Okay. Now over on this side, I'm going to add a pocket. It's not going to be a flip. It's just going to be a flat pocket. And I found this old Lodge Ledger page that I thought would be kind of cool as a pocket. So I'm just going to kind of cut this to size, or tear it to size. And I don't think I want it to be quite that tall, but I think what I'm going to do is fold the top over. This paper seems to be pretty sturdy, but it does crack a little bit. You can see when I fold it, so it'll just make everything a little bit stronger. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut my thumb notch, or punch my thumb notch in there right now. It'll be easier than trying to poke it in. And we'll see how this works. Yeah, I think I need to replace my punch. I don't know. You know, you read about how you can sharpen them with aluminum foil. I have never had luck with that. If you have had luck with that, let me know. Or if you have any tips for me on that. Because, you know, punches aren't cheap, especially when you buy the nice ones. And I feel like it's a shame to throw them in a landfill. But the other thing is, if I would remember to use, it definitely doesn't work well on one layer of paper. I did have 2 layers here at this particular time, but sometimes I don't. And it does help if you do. Okay, I like that a lot. I went ahead and made a little tag here, and I just put some blue paper on the back of it to save time. Again, you don't have to watch me make the tag, and other things could be tucked in there as well. Okay, and then on the back of this one, I'm just going to do a little bit of collage, and I found this pretty bluebird image. This is left over from a project I recently finished, so we'll go ahead and put that on, and I'm just going to layer this little piece of graph paper over the top. And we're covering up the stuff from the bird on the front, but that's okay. He's flying underneath this. And I think this one is done. Just cap my glue here. All right, so we have the front, little label at the top. You open it up. There's a few little papers in here you can write on, remove, add to. We have a little tag here, very simple. And then pretty collage on the back. And then let me just flip the other one out here. I stuck it under my mat here to try to flatten it out a little bit. Excuse me. And this one was on the Norwegian paper that I wanted to keep a little bit more of. So we have a little bit of collage on the front. And then we have some tissue here and a bird. A little flip out pocket with a tag in it. And then of course our papers are here. And then this one, there's nothing on the back except for that little label. So there we go. Thanks for joining me with this project. I really appreciate it. I'll get to work on week number 4's project as well, so watch for that soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.